All right, yesterday we talked about connecting the dots, and we're going to do a deep dive into one of the bullet points that we discussed yesterday. Let me get the camera right. Okay, we're good. Now, the goal here is to become so valuable that you create obvious greater value for your customers than your competition. You want to be able to stand out from everyone so that you're just the obvious choice for them. And the very first dot that I shared with you yesterday in this connect the dot exercises was to study the market every day. You want to be able to articulate this to your customers in a way that shows value to them, that conveys that you are the local economist of choice. Now, today I'm going to do a deep dive into what this looks like. I want you to study the market every day. I've got about a dozen questions here or things that I want you to start doing research on. And the first one is, what does the local market mean to you? You need to define that for yourselves. Now, the example that I came up for me, based on where I'm currently living, is the Tampa Bay area is the local market. If you've been to Tampa, Clearwater, Bradenton, St. Pete, you know the Tampa Bay area is pretty much made up of Pinellas County, Hillsborough County, Pasco County, Polk County, and Manatee County. Sarasota probably as well. So pretty large area that is the local market. Now the local market can also be, for me again, can be Pinellas County. So what does the market look like for Pinellas County? Now Pinellas County includes St. Petersburg, Clearwater, Largo, Dunedin, Palm Harbor, and probably a few other cities that I'm forgetting. The local market could also be North Pinellas County. Now that's, if you're from the area, everything north of Gulf to Bay or 60 is North Pinellas County. Everything south is South Pinellas County. It could also be Palm Harbor. That's where I live. So the local community could be Palm Harbor. Now I can go even closer and I can do my zip code, which is 34683. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different definitions of the local market. You need to do the same thing for you and your market. Now, the next question is, how many single-family homes are there in your local market? This is how many single-family homes exist in your local market. Do the research, know the number, know how many of them are occupied by owners or how many of them are absentee owners in their rental properties, how many of them are short-term vacation properties or Airbnb properties. Know the market. This is going to take a lot of research on your part, but you're becoming the local economist of choice. The next question I want you to ask yourself, or the next thing I want you to research, is how many sold in the past 12 months? So whichever local market you're looking at, for example, I could say Palm Harbor. How many single-family homes sold in the last 12 months? Know that number. You need to know the answers to these questions available to have a conversation with anybody at any time. You don't want to be in a situation where you have to say, let me get back to you, or let me look that up for you. You want to just be able to talk to somebody at a networking event and say, here's what the local market looks like in Palm Harbor. And boom, 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 you know the market. And they're like, wow, this person really knows what they're talking about. This is somebody that I want to work with. All you did was do your research, study the material, know the material. And what's really awesome about this is you don't have to be a veteran in this game of real estate to be the local economist of choice. You just need to be the person who did the most research. Boy, I'd write that down. All right. What percentage of homes in your city sell every year? Is it 5%? Is it 6%? On average, what's the number? So for example, in the United States in 2021, there were 6.2 million homes sold. 83 million homes in the United States are owned by, or lived in by owners. 83 million, 6.2 million sold. It's approximately 6% of the US population moved in 2021. What's that number look like where you live? You need to know that for the area, for the county, for the city, for your zip code, for your neighborhood. You need to know these numbers. All right. The next question I want you to do is I want you to ask what percentage of homes sold in your market are purchased by out-of-state buyers? What percentage of homes in your market are purchased by out-of-state buyers? Where are they moving from? And why is that important? One of the things, or one of the ways that it could be important, is if I'm sitting at your kitchen table and we're having a conversation on marketing, one of the things that I want to be able to convey is, so Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner, here's what I know. Approximately 20% of the homes that are purchased in our market are purchased by buyers who are moving in from out of state. And the areas that they're moving from are mostly the upper Northeast and California. Now, that's not a slant on California, but a lot of people are moving, okay? Now, if I know that, then can I direct my marketing to those locations? Yes, I can. If you don't know that, you're winging it. All right, the next thing I want you to do is how many homes were sold in Q1 of 2023? How many homes were sold in Q1 of 2023 for your local market? Remember, you can define the local market a lot of different ways. I gave you 5 earlier. I need to know the answer for all 5 of those. How many homes were sold in my zip code, in my city, in the area in Q1 of 2023? How does that compare to Q4 of 2022? Look for trends. Is the number of homes being sold moving up or is it moving down? We base our opinion on the market by how busy we are. There's a shortage of inventory. When you do an open house, all of a sudden there's 20, 30 people who come to the open house. When you put a property on the market, it sells in less than 7 days with multiple offers, and everybody just makes a declaration that the market is super hot again. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. You don't know unless you're doing this research. How many homes were sold in Q1 of 2023? How did that compare to Q4 of 2022? How did it compare to Q1 of 2022? Are the number of homes being sold moving up or are they moving down? You need to know the answers to these questions. All right. What is the average days on market year to date for 2023? How does that compare to the same time last year? What is the average list price to sell price ratio for homes that are priced between $500,000 and $550,000? Now, you pick the price points based on where you live. Look at the average price and pick a price that's just above the average price and ask, what is the average list price to sell price ratio for homes that are priced between, for example, $500,000 and $550,000? What about $1 million to $1,250,000? What's the difference? Why is that important? How does that change the conversation when you're sitting at that listing table or talking to someone who you know who owns a home that's valued somewhere between $1 million and $1,250,000? They might be reading the news and listening to everybody else talking about homes that are being sold with multiple offers in less than 30 days at 102% of the asking price. And that might be true for homes that are in that average price point, but it may not be true for homes that are priced between $1 million and $1,250,000. You need to know that. You need to be able to convey that. That's part of being the local economist of choice. What is the average list price to sell price ratio for homes with a price reduction versus without a price reduction? What is the average list price to sell price ratio for homes that have had a price reduction versus homes without a price reduction? What is the average days on market for homes with a price reduction versus homes without a price reduction? Explain holding cost and how it affects the seller's net. Can you do that? Can you explain holding costs and how it affects seller's net? Now, if I'm sitting at the kitchen table and I'm having a conversation with someone and they're having a hard time grasping all of this. I'm going to do what Zig Ziglar used to call pull out your thinking pad and start drawing pictures. So give me a moment. I'm going to pull in our little flip chart here, and I'm going to simply just draw pictures for you. Okay, make sure I've got that position well. We do. Let's get rid of that. All right. This is exactly how I would do it sitting at the kitchen table. Let me fix the camera. Okay, good enough. All right. This line represents money, and this is time. So we're just going to have to take my head out of the picture otherwise. All right, we're good. 0 days, 30 days, 60 days, 120 days, and 180 days. Now, you have a seller who wants the price of the property at $575,000. That's the price they want. That's what they think their home is worth. And they're not going to hire you unless you list the property at $575,000. Now, the way I explain this, if I'm sitting at the kitchen table, is Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I understand you want to list your home for $575,000. Let me share with you what normally happens when we do this. If the market is telling us that the right price is $550,000, and we list your property for $575,000, what typically happens from the day the home goes on the market until about 30 days on the market is the number of people who are looking at your home is going to peak somewhere here between 0 and 130 days. And then it's going to start to fall until 180 days out. Your next door neighbor doesn't even notice your home is for sale anymore. Now, in my experience, here's what typically happens. A homeowner will come to me somewhere between 30 days on the market and 60 days on the market, and they'll say, okay, John, you were right. Go ahead and drop the price to $550,000. Now, the challenge with that is we've missed the best window of opportunity we've got to sell your home. And somewhere about 120 days on the market, a buyer is going to come in and they're going to love your home. And the first question they're going to ask is, how long has it been on the market? The real estate agent's going to say 120 days. Buyer's going to say, what's wrong with it? Real estate agent's going to say, nothing. It's a great property. And the buyer's going to think opportunity. They're going to think, okay, it's been on the market for 120 days. I've got an opportunity to get this property at a discount. In other words, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner, is your negotiating position stronger at 30 days on the market, or is your negotiating position stronger at 120 days on the market? Who has the advantage at 30 days? You do. Who has the advantage at 120 days? The buyer does. So what normally happens in this situation is the buyer will come in with an offer of, let's say, $525,000. And now you are more motivated to get your home sold than you were when it first went on the market. And this is the best offer you've gotten. So you're stuck with, I have to accept the offer because my home's been on the market 120 days and I need to move. So in this situation, the homeowner sold their home for $525,000 in 120 days when they could have sold it for $550,000 in 30 days. So they lost $25,000 by trying to gain an extra $25,000. However, we're not done because we have holding costs between 30 days and 120 days on the market. There's a 90-day difference there. And if your holding cost is $4,000 a month for mortgage, insurance, interest, taxes, HOA fees, all of that, then you've lost an additional $12,000. So what you've really done is you've lost $37,000 trying to make an extra $25,000. So based on that information, where do you feel you should put your home on the market? Now, this is being recorded. I would recommend you go back and watch that part of the recording over and over again. Take out some pencil and paper and practice this. Practice this until you've mastered this. And when you're sitting at the kitchen table, guess who is going to stand out from the competition as this person knows the market better than anybody else we've talked to. All right, talk to me.